Have you ever been around someone who seems perfectly fine on the surface, but you can't shake the feeling that there's something deeper and more complex going on beneath the surface? A silent struggle, a hidden pain, or an unspoken trauma? You might sense that something feels off, even if you can't quite identify what it is, as trauma shows up in a wide range of ways and looks different for everyone. So in this video, we're diving into 7 common signs that trauma can reveal itself. But before we dive in, if you're ready to protect your peace and elevate your mindset, consider subscribing. Let's get started. Common sign number 1. They feel uneasy around others. Individuals who have experienced trauma may show signs similar to social anxiety, and sometimes this is an aspect of it. Psychotherapist Katie Gillis explains that those who grew up in unstable or chaotic environments where they needed to remain vigilant often carry these behaviors into adulthood. Simple things like entering a crowded space, answering a phone call, or responding to a knock at the door can induce stress, particularly when they have not mentally prepared. Gillis points out that this behavior might stem from repeated experiences of having their boundaries crossed or constantly being placed in distressing situations. All in all, routine social interactions can evoke memories of prior instances of humiliation, mistreatment, or pressure, leading them to avoid these encounters, which can strain friendships and turn events that are supposed to be fun into anxiety-inducing obstacle courses. According to Stoic philosophy, individuals can cultivate inner strength and resilience by acknowledging and accepting their past experiences, rather than avoiding triggers or suppressing their emotions. In practical terms, this might involve practicing mindfulness and presence in daily life, developing self-compassion and understanding rather than engaging in self-criticism, or focusing on building inner strength and resilience instead of avoiding external triggers. Overall, by recognizing that their reactions stem from past trauma, individuals can begin to dismantle patterns of avoidance and anxiety created by trauma, fostering a more confident and resilient approach to life. Common sign number 2. They shut down or isolate. Life can throw unexpected curveballs our way, and while we can't always control these circumstances, trauma can amplify the impact of these unexpected events. One coping mechanism for trauma survivors is to shut down emotionally. Katie Gillis explains that individuals may become quiet in social situations. They might also withdraw in other ways, such as engaging in distractions or leaving a social setting momentarily. Each person's trauma is unique, leading to different triggers, such as loud noises, specific individuals, or even someone resembling a past abuser. On certain days, the prospect of going out can feel too daunting or unpredictable. In other instances, individuals may meticulously plan their outings, identifying exits, or monitoring their surroundings for anything unsettling. However, despite thorough preparation, unforeseen events can still arise and lead to overwhelming feelings. The Stoics would view shutting down or isolating as a coping mechanism that trauma survivors may utilize to navigate overwhelming situations. Stoic philosophy acknowledges that this behavior is a natural response to trauma, while also recognizing its potential to limit relationships and overall well-being. The Stoic concept of premeditatio malorum, aka premeditation of evils, is relevant here. By envisioning potential challenges and difficulties, individuals can mentally prepare for unexpected events and reduce emotional reactivity. The Stoics might also suggest gradual exposure to triggering situations in a controlled and safe manner. Through this process, individuals can confront their fears and anxieties, fostering confidence and developing more effective coping strategies. In practical terms, this might involve journaling to identify triggers and patterns associated with shutting down or isolating, practicing mindfulness and meditation to cultivate greater emotional awareness and regulation, developing a daily routine that promotes self-care and relaxation, or gradually exposing oneself to situations that trigger shutting down or isolating in a controlled and safe manner. Overall, by embracing these Stoic principles, trauma survivors can develop greater self-awareness and emotional regulation skills, reducing their need to shut down or isolate by developing resilience while learning to navigate life's unexpected events with greater ease and confidence. Common sign number 3. They develop compulsive behaviors. trauma can often lead to compulsions. According to the Chicago Behavioral Hospital, substance abuse, such as excessive drinking or drug use, is prevalent, but it can extend beyond that. Other habits, like overeating, may also arise. Katie Gillis notes that some trauma survivors maintain a specific physical distance from others, growing increasingly uncomfortable as proximity increases. These compulsions typically serve two functions: one, to mask emotional discomfort, and two, to prevent those feelings from emerging. In their publication in the Australian Journal of General Practice, Sue and Stone highlight how trauma, especially from early life, can affect interpersonal relationships. Individuals may experience love-hate dynamics, sometimes resulting in either being victims of abuse or becoming abusers themselves. According to Stoic philosophy, the first step in addressing this issue is to acknowledge compulsive behaviors and their root cause in trauma. The Stoics advocate for individuals to observe their thoughts, emotions, and actions without judgment, recognizing that these behaviors serve as coping mechanisms to avoid emotional discomfort. Some practical Stoic exercises that may assist include journaling to increase self-awareness and understanding thoughts and emotions, engaging in physical activity to boost mood and overall well-being, setting boundaries and prioritizing self-care to sustain emotional balance, or seeking social support from positive and supportive relationships. By understanding the purpose of these behaviors, individuals can begin to address their underlying issues and work towards breaking free from their compulsive patterns. Common sign number 4. They experience physical symptoms. The mind and body are deeply interconnected, and an article from Psych Guides highlights how trauma can manifest physically. Individuals may appear pale, tired, or withdrawn. They might also face issues such as aches, sexual dysfunction, and sleep disturbances. These symptoms can intensify during stressful periods, complicating both physical and mental functioning. According to the Lake Behavioral Hospital, individuals diagnosed with PTSD frequently exhibit neurological changes that influence metabolism, brain chemistry, and neuron health. According to Stoic philosophy, the ancient Stoics underscored the importance of prioritizing self-care and taking the proactive measures necessary for maintaining physical and mental health. This may involve journaling to track physical symptoms, practicing mindfulness and meditation to cultivate greater awareness and acceptance of physical sensations, engaging in regular exercise to improve physical and mental well-being, prioritizing self-care and seeking medical attention when needed, or focusing on the present moment, letting go of worries about the past or future. Therefore, by applying these Stoic principles, individuals can cultivate resilience, enhance self-awareness, and improve overall well-being, even when faced with physical symptoms linked to trauma. Common sign number 5. They apologize constantly. Psych Guides explains that conversations with individuals who have experienced trauma may exhibit atypical characteristics. They may appear disoriented or respond in unexpected ways. Frequent apologizing, even for circumstances beyond their control, is a prevalent behavior. Katie Gillis notes that this tendency often stems from a childhood spent in a highly critical environment where everything was perceived as their fault. Individuals with trauma may carry this belief into adulthood, consistently attempting to make amends to avoid rejection, even when they are not at fault and would not be judged. And according to Stoic philosophy, the Stoics would encourage individuals to recognize this pattern of constant apologizing, understanding its roots in past experiences. The ancient Stoics would often challenge the negative self-talk and self-blame that frequently accompanied trauma, promoting self-acceptance and acknowledgement of past experiences, rather than attempting to change or apologize for them. By accepting what is, individuals can cultivate self-acceptance, self-compassion, and inner strength, liberating themselves from the habit of constant apologizing. This process involves practicing self-compassion and reframing negative mindsets, allowing individuals to form a more realistic and kind assessment of themselves. Furthermore, they can begin to understand how their past influences their present through enhanced self-awareness. Common sign number 6. They may have emotional outbursts. The Lake Behavioral Hospital discusses how trauma-induced changes in the brain can influence both health and behavior. Modifications in the amygdala, hippocampus, and anterior ungulate cortex can disrupt emotional regulation and memory. Individuals experiencing trauma may exhibit increased anger, becoming easily overwhelmed, and showing fluctuations in their emotions. As previously mentioned, intense emotions can impact relationships, and research from the Australian Journal of General Practice indicates that trauma survivors may alternate between idealizing and devaluing those around them, potentially resulting in harmful dynamics that involve either being victimized or becoming abusive. The Stoics emphasize the significance of emotional regulation and self-control, enabling individuals to manage their own emotions more effectively through the development of inner strength and resilience. Additionally, the Stoics also advocate for the cultivation of healthy relationships, founded on mutual respect, trust, and communication, encouraging individuals to surround themselves with positive influences, breaking free from toxic dynamics, and fostering more fulfilling relationships. Some practical Stoic exercises that may assist include journaling to track emotions and identify patterns, practicing mindfulness and meditation habits to cultivate greater emotional awareness, developing assertiveness and communicating needs and boundaries clearly, or cultivating healthy relationships based on mutual respect and trust. Overall, by applying these Stoic principles, individuals can enhance their emotional awareness, resilience, and self-control, liberating themselves from the detrimental patterns linked to emotional outbursts. Common sign number 7, they dissociate. Dissociation is a mental process where an individual detaches from a specific moment or situation. This behavior is often observed in trauma survivors who experience feelings of entrapment. Dr. Laurie Lauren from Psych Central characterizes this as a freeze response, which is one of the body's defensive reactions to trauma, akin to our fight or flight responses. She likens dissociation to an animal playing dead as a survival mechanism. While this response can serve as a protective measure in dangerous situations, it may become problematic when triggered by everyday occurrences. Whether it be a person, a scent, or a visual cue, the onset of dissociation can make it challenging to re-engage with the present moment. The Stoics viewed dissociation as a coping mechanism that can function in both adaptive and maladaptive ways. While it may have historically provided protection, it can become problematic if it disrupts daily life. Therefore, the Stoics emphasize the power of living in the present moment. By boosting awareness of their thoughts, emotions, and surroundings, individuals can start to recognize when they are drifting away and take steps to ground themselves back in the now. Some practical Stoic exercises that may help include developing grounding techniques like focusing on the 5 senses, for example. A simple yet effective method that involves identifying 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste, while continuing to practice self-compassion as well as acceptance. By applying these Stoic techniques, individuals can enhance their self-awareness, cultivate inner strength, and build resilience, while minimizing their inclination to dissociate. In conclusion, trauma presents unique challenges for each individual, and while it manifests in different ways for different people, everyone faces their own struggles and the effects can vary significantly. That's why it's essential to talk with a licensed mental health professional to address these issues, as unaddressed trauma can adversely impact relationships and overall well-being. But with the appropriate guidance, individuals can initiate the healing process, work through their pain, and develop healthier and more effective coping strategies. Proverbs 11:14 in the Amplified Bible states, "Where there is no wise, intelligent guidance, the people fall and go off course like a ship without a helm. But in the abundance of wise and godly counselors, there is victory." And so, if this video helped you in any way, shape, or form, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more relatable content. Not for me, for you. Because this is just the beginning. Until next time, thanks again for watching. Stay up, stay blessed, and I'll catch you all on the flip side.